Okay, so we are now recording and we are here, and it's good to see that most of the class, meaning majority of the class is here, which is good. Which means we are having good lectures. इंशाल्लाह जो लेक्चर्स पुराने वाले हैं वो भी मैं इस तरह से अपलोड कर ही दूंगा, और ये वाला भी लेक्चर हो जाएगा, तो कैन देन revise everything. So once we were talking about, what were we talking about? We were talking about interpretation. Yes, I remember. We were discussing how different people interpret different meanings, what the meaning of interpretation is, and all of that stuff, right? So let's move on with that, and अजान होने वाली है. ओके, हाँ हाँ, आप लोग इतने सेंसिटिव है अजान के बारे में, नमाज के बारे में इतने सेंसिटिव. अच्छा, वो आप लोगों में से जिसको जाना हो बेशक जाइए, आइए. और अच्छा रोजा है तो और अच्छी बात है, आप जाइए और आराम से इफ्तार करके आइए. जब चाहे आप ज्वाइन कर लें. दिस रिकॉर्डिंग विल बी देयर इन समewhere. You don't need to. Okay, and you don't need to actually tell me if you are going or coming back or whatever. This is not the physical classroom, it's a learning environment. So if you are in, you are in. If you are not in, you can do. So try not to say anything if there is nothing really important to say. Only you can give me your chat, or and after the lecture is over, then you can discuss on over the phone as well, and over the mic as well. But first, let's do some of the talking. Let's do some things about the lecture. So first, I'll go with the thing. If the video is uploaded, then I'll upload it here. And then you can see the previous lecture, so that you know that this was the lecture that we had about interpretation. So summing it up again from the last time that we have discussed perception, we were talking about perception, what it is, and how it works. The first condition of perception is exposure. Whenever something is exposed to our senses, any stimulus is exposed to our senses, then we are able to give it attention. If it is not exposed to us, we cannot give it attention. Some people have a different kind of argument on this, that they say that there are not five senses but rather six senses, and whenever the sixth sense is also very important. Okay, so the sixth sense might be very important, yeah, too, but the sixth sense is how we cannot really know how the stimulus is exposed to the sixth sense. That's why it's not easy to measure the things that are happening there, and since we cannot measure them, we cannot predict how people will sense with their sixth sense. since we cannot predict it, therefore we cannot control it. If we cannot control it, it's not in our hand, and therefore we are not going to consider it as an
आप
important.
कनेक्ट हो गए, आप कनेक्ट हो गए, आप कनेक्ट कर लो, आप कनेक्ट हो गया, अब ऑन है.
Arbab, please cut off your. Yeah, thank you. Okay. So the next thing is attention. Then we discussed attention, what it means, how we give attention. We give attention to very few things, and then we discussed what are the factors that distinguish between these things. So it's attention, the factors that affect attention, how we measure attention. So we've discussed that so far. And then we talked a bit about interpretation as well. What is interpretation? How do we give meaning to things? How all of these, or whatever we perceive, we give meaning to it. So how do we do that? We discussed about it. The difference between our perception of colors, for example, between for example, the difference of perception of color between men and women, how men perceive colors, how women perceive them differently. We talked about it. So let's build on that, and let's talk about interpretation in many scenarios. So first I'm going to talk about is that how interpretation really works, how does the mind really work. Firstly, whatever we interpret is based on some kind of memory that we already have in our life. We actually keep on comparing things to the things that we have already seen in our mind, and if there is something alien, then we find something really close to that so that we can interpret it in that way. For example, the simplest thing that you observe in your daily life is that if you know any children whose age is less than 5 years or 4 years, above 1 year and less than 5 years, then you will see that in their life, they probably know only 2 or 3 animals. They know about cats, they know about dogs, and they know about maybe birds, crow maybe, or yeah, exactly. So they know very few things, very few animals. So if you have to describe a lion or a tiger to this child, you would probably say that it's just like a cat, but it's larger in size. It's not a domestic animal. It's a wild animal. It's a dangerous animal, and it kills people as well. It preys in the wild, and you will describe these things. So, firstly, you will draw a kind of an analogy with with something that already exists now. If you have to describe an animal that's not very common, for example, llama. A llama is an animal. Llama is an animal that looks a bit like a camel and uh, uh, a bit like giraffe. Its neck is longer like giraffe, but the overall features match more of the camel. So you can say if you mix a giraffe and a camel, then you get a llama. And that is how you would describe this animal. It means that we are also uh, all we are also connecting the things that we see. And then, for example, we learn about colors. So we start with the basic colors. There are blue and red and yellow. And then we say the mixture of blue and yellow is green. So we build on the information that we have, and then we start to interpret things as we move along and find new things. That is how we interpret anything. Now, we never have full information about anything in the world. We always have a room for a deeper kind of deeper knowledge about something. For example, even the people whom we live our life with, the place where we stay, we still always have something deeper there to learn. And every time we learn something new, we add to that information. But it always depends on the things that we have done before in our life. So interpretation is always based on previous experiences and the learning of how we learn the names of things. When we will talk about learning in detail, but that is how we interpret on the basis of previous experiences or previous knowledge. And the new experiences are that are totally new for the child, for example, for the infant. They are learned by the direct experience of these senses like touching and feeling and tasting. So once you have tasted something sweet, then whenever you taste something sweet again, then you will say that it is just like that thing that I tasted before. So this is sweet and this means they both are sweet means you can find the commonality, and then for the next always whenever you taste something sweet, then you are able to interpret it as sweet. Also, when we are interpreting things, then it's not just about what it is, but human beings are different in this scenario that we also interpret things and we have a judgment of them. We always have a judgment of every single word or every single term that we come across or every single object that we see. A judgment means that we always categorize them as good or bad. Now, you will not find this, what I am explaining to you, in the consumer behavior books. This is my own addition to text. Please, you will have on your laptop. I will have. Okay. So these judgments, they mean this that we have certain tags, you can say. Tags are tagged to every word in our mind. For example, if I say the word fire. Now, fire means is a noun and fire is a verb as well. Now, firing some people here will be thinking of fire as the thing that we use to cook things. It's fire, we burn fire. And we can also firing and fireworks, yeah. And we also the fire if somebody here is from HR, Then to fire means to sack somebody, to terminate somebody. Yeah. So fire meaning the firing of a bullet, or fire means the thing that we cook on. Fire, then we say the fire that we cook on, it's very essential. We cannot live without fire because we cannot cook anything, and then we won't be able to eat most of the things. So we need fire to do a lot of things. Which means fire is good, fire is important. But if somebody got burned from fire, then that person will always perceive fire, the word fire, negatively in the mind. There will be a negative tag associated with it. If somebody just recently got fired from the job, then the word fire will have a negative connotation in his mind. So these tags are there, and we don't do this consciously, we automatically attach these tags with every word that we have. So we have a judgment feeling attached to every word. If I say any word, for example, or even a proper noun, for example, I say Japan. So if I say Japan, you will, if you close your eyes, you will see some mobile phones, you will see people using technology, you will see buildings, you will see maybe some people will imagine earthquakes. I can imagine whales, sumo wrestling, so all of these things. And when you will imagine them, then some of these things will have a positive meaning in your mind, and some will have a negative. And altogether, it will have a good or bad feeling about that thing that you are talking about. So interpretation works like that. It has tags, good or bad. Whenever we are talking about anything, that we have to consider that if the collective people, if the majority of the people have a positive opinion about it, in their mind positive tag associated with it, or a negative tag associated. If there is a negative tag associated with it, then we should not use that word. Now, interestingly, these tags do not necessarily mean that they depend on the lexical definition of these things. It means the dictionary meaning of something might be positive, but we use it negatively, so that the tag in our mind is negative. Or if the dictionary meaning might be negative, but we use it positive. I'll give you an example. There is a word terrific, Terrific. Now my question to you is that if this word is a positive word, we say that's a terrific shot that played by the batsman. That's a terrific way to do this. So we are praising that thing. However, if you look in the dictionary, you will see that terrific means causing terror. The dictionary meaning is terrific means causing terror. It cannot be used for a positive thing if it's causing terror. But you do use it, and if you ask most people, they will say it's a positive word. They will have a positive feeling associated with it. So we will go with what people do, not what the dictionary says. So we will have to use the language. What's happening and why. Abdul Arbab ने तो शेयर कर दिया. Abdul Arbab, you are Abdul Arbab, you have to. Yeah, so we're back. We were talking about yeah, terrific. That was
सर आवाज आ रही है?
yeah, that was correct. Abdul Arbab, please.
सर ये पता नहीं कोई कनेक्शन में कोई ब्रॉडकास्टिंग आ रही है, समझ नहीं आ रही है। एलसीडी
आप
के ऊपर एरो बना हुआ आ रहा है।
आप लेक्चर थोड़ी ले रहे हैं।
सर मेरे पास ये ऑप्शन आ रहा है, मैं लेक्चर ले रहा था, एकदम ही बीच में आया ऑप्शन,
तो आप उसको नहीं
एरो बना हुआ। मैंने बनी क्या ब्रॉडकास्ट आ रहा है, आवाज भी नहीं आ रही, एकदम ही बंद हो गई।
तो आप कुछ नहीं करें प्लीज।
सर मैं कुछ कर भी नहीं रहा हूँ, मैं सिर्फ वीडियो देख रहा हूँ, सामने तीर बना हुआ है मेरे पास।
तो वो तीर को छोड़ दीजिए, जो भी तीर आ रहे हैं ना वो उनको निशान पे ना लगने जाए।
ओके ओके।
अच्छा अच्छा, तो बात क्या हो रही थी? So these tags. So we have these tags that are associated with these things, and therefore we are able to give a judgment about everything. So whenever we are making any choice, then these words matter to us. Whenever we are seeing an advertisement, we are looking at a product, it has some details on it, the word, brand name, and the slogans, everything is consisting of these words or concepts or images, and we carry a tag in our mind for that, and we actually should do some research on this, that we should we should ask people how they feel about some word before we use that word in a slogan. So when we ask them in the market research how they feel towards it, then their opinion tells us if they have a positive or a negative tag in their mind. Also, sometimes people just don't know the word. It is very bad because if you don't know a word, you will probably try to find some meaning that might be a way of the real meaning of the word. For example, some meanings are I remember the Sunsilk, I believe, used a slogan that said "flaunt your hair." Flaunt your hair. Now, flaunt is a word that is not a very common word, and I'm sure that most people do not know the meaning of flaunt. Flaunt your hair. Flaunt your hair. Sunsilk है ना? Flaunt your hair. So, flaunt means to show off, to let people see if you have something of great value. That means to flaunt. But most people seeing that advertisement will not know what flaunt means, and they will just think of anything that comes. For example, the closest word that comes to my mind close to flaunt is fault. Fault or flaunt. But fault is a negative word. So probably many people will find a negative tag in their mind when they see the word flaunt. So we should avoid this. Next we have
Sorry, sorry, question.
Yeah.
So sometimes you use a word that has some negative connotations or negative perception in people's mind. And try and change that perception, like perhaps for children. If they try to change it, the meaning of kids playing in the playground and just getting themselves dirty and all. So giving a new meaning to the word car is basically you're trying to change the perception of the people. So sometimes you can do that, right?
That's true. That is true. Thank you, Amir, for this example. It's possible that we would like to that we change the meaning of a certain word, but then actually we have a whole plan to do that. We cannot just expect people to change their views about something. And dal is a word that has a negative meaning in our mind. So it will require an extra effort to change that meaning. But at the same time, because of having a strong meaning negatively, we can also convert it into a strong meaning positively. But it still will require some effort. While if we use dal as a negative term, it's easier. In fact, if I was, for example, Ariel, or if I was the brand manager of Ariel or Bright, I would have immediately launched a campaign saying that by common sense, dals are bad. That's it. And their whole campaign would have collapsed. But they had the time, they took the time, nobody said anything. They went on and slowly they put this word in our mind. In fact, they did it so well that even today, that when we are talking about something and the word dal comes up, and we then use this slogan as a kind of a taunt or a kind of a sarcastic phrase when we are saying a dal somebody says किसी को कहते कि मेरे वो मेरे कपड़ों पे काला लग गया, तो फौरन उसको आप छेड़ने के लिए कहते हैं कि दाग so they have successfully done that, but it requires a lot of time and a lot of effort. So instead of that, we can do that definitely, but it's better that we already take the advantage of words that have positive meaning. It requires less effort. Anyway, so we understand.
I understand, but
yeah.
Sorry, just one more thing. I mean, with your marketing, should you not have an element of surprise for the people when you're basically? I understand it takes extra effort. That extra effort will pay extra as well. Because if you have a surprise for people, I mean, if I'm doing the same thing that everyone else is doing, there is no surprise for people. But if I'm doing something that is new for the people, that have some surprise for them, they would definitely sort of prefer that product when they're going to the market buy that product.
True. The thing is, when we are talking about surprises, just like any surprise that you give to your friend or your relative, surprises are risky. If you, for example, if you give a surprise to somebody, and that surprise is backfired, surprises do backfire because the other person doesn't really know what's going on, and that surprise may shock that person or may put that person in a bad mood. That is the possibility. The surprises are always a risk. I'm not saying that we should not take risks. I'm not saying that. In fact, we should take risks. But we should also know that we should not stretch it too far. Which means some people have tried to do exactly this surprise, and their marketing efforts have failed miserably. Like, for example, I'll give you an example. Lux. Lux is a brand that, there's a very simple question. Who uses Lux?
Me.
Ladies. The technical answer is ladies. And the true answer is anybody. Anybody can use Lux. it means it doesn't specify any age, doesn't specify any gender. So lux, if you have lux at home, then everybody will be using lux, right? So if everybody is using lux, then yeah. So everybody is using lux, and it's not gender specific actually. But would you use would you want to use men in a lux advertisement? Fawad Khan, did he come as user of lux?
No,
Shahrukh
sir.
Khan,
No, sir.
Shahrukh Khan came as a user of lux, along with other, I think, 4 different heroines of different eras. Now that was kind of what Amir was talking about, the surprise element. Because in our mind, that tag is related to feminine beauty, but they tried to include Shahrukh Khan in that, and it did not work well for them. So some surprises are good. Some things can be gone against when we are talking about tags, but not every time. Sometimes these surprises might backfire. Sometimes people are using humor to actually talk about their brand, and it faces a lot of criticism because artists, for example, HBL tried to do a mock of Mr. Bean, a Me Too of Mr. Bean, somebody who looked like Mr. Bean in their campaign, and it backfired because Mr. Bean is considered as a comical person, as a comical character, while HBL has a persona of a very sober, high class, or at least a very sober bank or service provider. So they don't go together. That surprise was very bad in terms of, because it was going against the tag in our mind. So you get what I'm saying, Amir? I can speak in Urdu.
Yes, I understand that, sir. Thank you.
Because Urdu is my language, that I can speak in Urdu. But
सर एग्जांपल उर्दू में दिया गया सर
एग्जाम्पल उर्दू क्यों
सर बस
कनेक्ट मजा आता है when you graduate from here and you apply for anywhere else in the world, then they ask you a question if your university had the medium of instruction was English or not. And if it's not English, then you will have to do some courses. So they expect you to know English this much that you can at least attend these lectures. But if your English is, I'm not using the English language that you cannot understand, and using pretty simple words. And I don't think I speak very fast as well. I speak at a decent pace. But even if I do, I can make it slower for you. But I'm not using any difficult words. So I can do that. Also, we are going to put this on YouTube. So if anybody sees this on YouTube, it won't be good for us or for me or my channel. So we're going to continue in English, right? What we can do is that I can put subtitles in the YouTube channel. And, that will work for you. Anyway,
Sir, subtitles are already shown in your videos there on YouTube.
okay, great. That's wonderful. So let's get back to our topic. What was that? Yeah, tags. So we've talked about tags, and then let's move on to interpretation. And let me first talk about how we interpret text and how we interpret others. So let's start with text. Okay. So the interesting thing about interpreting text is that our mind stores this information. Whatever we see, we store it in our mind, and then we are able to read it. Now, when we are storing images in our mind, then what happens is that we take a picture of something in our mind. We see it, we take a picture with our eyes, and we store it in our mind, and it's stored there. Or we can have a video stored in our mind. But the difference between a picture and a video in our mind is that we can still have a pretty clear picture of thing in our mind, but not that clear picture of a video. For example, if I ask you to remember a particular scene from a movie, even if you have watched that movie 20 times, and I ask you to remember that a particular scene, you would remember the main characters doing the thing or saying things, but you cannot remember the things that are happening in the background, or exactly remember what shirt that person is wearing. So we cannot recall most of the things that we see, but we can remember things in our mind as videos or as images. Now, when we are recalling videos or images, we recall them as they are. But when we are recalling text, it's not the same. Now, the example to understand this, a good way to remember this is this, that when we are, if I have Microsoft Word and I do this, that I make a document and then I make that document in whatever font, and then I download a font from the internet, and then I change the whole document font in that font. So it will appear to me in a different font than Microsoft Word. So when we have, then I will see that font. But then I save this document, and then I send this document to you. Now, if I send this document to you, the question is, will you see that document in the font that I had downloaded in my PC, or would you see it in the font that in your Microsoft Word? Usually, it would probably shift to Calibri or Times New Roman. So the point is that you will not see the same font. You will see the font that's in your Microsoft Word, which means that when I'm sending you that file, it's not actually a copy of the font that I see on my screen. Rather than that, it has this information. If I send you a picture from my PC, then you will see that picture in the same way that's in my PC. But if I send you that text, you will not see it the same way. Now, why is it that? Because the Microsoft Word in your PC will actually take the information and generate that text. It will not copy that text, rather it will generate that text. When it will generate that text, it means it will use its own fonts to do that. Which means that it is not storing text as images rather than text as information. The same way, when if I write down something and then I ask you to remember that word. I write down something on the board and I ask you to remember that word. And next week I ask you to remember to recall what I told you. You will be able to recall that word. It might be possible. You remember it. And then I ask you to write it down how it looked like. You will write it probably in your own writing or any other writing, but you will not remember how it was written. You will only remember what was written. So the human mind actually generates text. Now, why are we discussing all this? Why are we discussing how the mind generates text? Why is this important? It is important because if the mind generates text, then it means that there is a limit in our mind to process this information. And when we are processing this information with text, then we can only be able to remember some text, not more than a huge amount of text at the same time. That's why it's
Hello, excuse me, sir.
To remember images, but very hard to remember text.
Hello, sir.
जी जी बोलिए जल्दी से. नहीं बोल रहे? ओके. So hard to remember text as compared to images. Now I'll give you another example. What you might have done in your life when you wanted to take an exam. The exam is like this, and you have the notes in front of you. You will find it very hard to remember the text because your mind is already full of these words. So what you did is that you took a snapshot of the notes in your mind as a picture. You just tried to remember that as a picture. And when you were sitting in that exam, you tried to recall what that picture of that notebook was. And then you recalled that as a picture, and then you saw those words written in that picture and then recalled it rather than trying to remember the text directly. So it means as human beings, we try to remember, we cannot remember the text all the time. We need to have some other way to remember this. Why we are saying this? We are saying this as marketers, we should avoid talking to our consumers in text form, because if we are talking in text, they are not likely to remember it. We should always use images and videos, and even if we are using text, the text form should be so unique that the person cannot remember it as a text, but always remembers it as an image. For example, if I ask you to make the M of McDonald's or Coca-Cola as we saw in our lecture last time, then you can remember that Coca-Cola is written in a certain font and you can remember that in your mind. But if I ask you to write down Microsoft just as it's written in its logo, you will not be able to do it because it's a text in your mind. It doesn't have a very unique kind of logo that you would remember as an image. So, Baskin Robbins is an example. The B and the R has 3 and 1. So we should avoid text in our marketing communication, and we should try to use more images in whatever we are doing. That's why I'm going to give you an assignment. Now, I'll explain the assignment and then I'm going to give you this assignment for the next 2 weeks. You will have 2 weeks to complete the assignment. The assignment is going to be about interpretation, and you have to make three advertisements. Okay, you have to make press ads, what we call in the jargon of advertising. Press ads about any product of your choice. You can make any product of your choice, but you have to make these advertisements. Do not copy these advertisements. Even if you copy one advertisement and then submit it, I will count your whole assignment as 0 marks. So no copying. Again and again I'm saying this. You will not copy any advertisement. You will have to make an advertisement, which means you will take the picture from some place. You will write your own text if there is required any, and you will place these pictures together with, and then you will make a press advertisement. Slogan is not required. Apart from the slogan and the brand name, there is a restriction. Yes, the restriction on making this advertisement is that you will not use more than 5 words in the advertisement. Not more than 5 words. Less text as possible. Not more than 5 words. So only the slogan, you can use the slogan separately, but apart from the slogan and the brand name, you can use 5 words as a maximum. And make 3 ads. I will also upload some of the older assignments from the previous semesters, so that you can get an idea how this can be done. But then again, if you copy, then you get 0. So make our own brand. No, just use any brand. Make a press ad for any brand of yourself. Okay, I'll give you an example right now, but we will have to wait about 30 seconds until I find that. Yeah, here we go, and we are sharing our screen. No, not Google Chrome. Here. And here we go. Can you see this? Can you see some ads here?
Sir, it's loading. It is still here.
I can see it.
You can see it. Great. Yeah. Yes, sir. So can you see this ad of candy?
Yes, sir, now we can see it.
So in this ad of candy, how many words are used? 3 words. It's sugar free. The advertisement, the picture says it all. You understand the picture, right? It's sugar free. So the ants aren't going near it. So let's take another example. Now there are just 2 words in this picture. Entrance, exit. A swimming club, the entrance and the exit. Wait, what is the brand name? The words used apart from the brand name, they are just 2 words.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. Or can you see this? Now who can tell me what this means?
अच्छा वो तो एक आया स्पाइडरमैन ही मर गया
मस्कीटो किलर सर, वो जो उसको मारने वाला है.
So the now they gone, I think it is whatever it is, so it has killed Spider-Man. Now how many words used? None. No need to use words. Yes, maybe only. Just like these. Nivea Night. Yeah, you get the idea? Or this is a bit difficult. Maybe you would understand it. It's an advertisement of a hand.
Hardy
No,
or Charlie Chaplin या Laurel or Hardy.
this is Charlie.
Hitler and Charlie Chaplin.
Hitler and Charlie
Hitler and
Chaplin.
Charlie.
So Hitler and Charlie Chaplin have the same thing. The only difference is the hat. They're selling the hat. Or this one. Free Wi-Fi.
These guys.
Online McDonald's now offers Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi.
Online.
That Wi-Fi is made of French fries. Or this is a good one.
Puma and Adidas.
Yeah, but it doesn't say Adidas anywhere. And Adidas. Jumping over Adidas without saying Adidas. You get it?
Yes,
When
sir.
you see these examples, this is another good example by WWF. This is horrifying. This is more horrifying. What does it mean?
It means कि अब वो नहीं देख रही तो वो कहीं पे भी हो सकती है.
नहीं. That's not horrifying.
Just like a spider in your bedroom. दिख रही है वो गायब होती है तो मसला शुरू होता है.
WWF. Why would they say that?
Yeah, but sir, वो meaning के if we don't have it goes towards animal protection. अगर वो नहीं होगी तो then life is nothing without it.
Extinction. अगर extinct हो गया तो ये ज़्यादा horrifying होगा.
अब सर आप देखें इस चीज को भी मैंने अलग इंटरप्रेट किया और आमिर भाई ने अलग इंटरप्रेट किया.
ये तो मुझे मुश्किल है कि किसी को समझ आए. Lego, imagine.
Lego and Simpsons.
We got it. Good. Most people don't know about Simpsons here. So these are the Simpsons. Can I imagine? But, so very simple advertisement with very loud messages. The messages are loud without using the word. This is one of my most favorite ads of all time, even though it does actually have a lot of words, but mainly has two words. Because one word is written again and again, repeated. So
It conveys the whole message of having an highlighter.
So this is written here, and this is written needle. So actually, it's an old idiom in English to find a needle in a haystack. It's difficult to find a needle in a haystack. So this highlighter finds the needle in a haystack for you. This is also good. Two words. Helmet.
Yep.
Helmet.
Without helmet, you need the helmet.
Yeah.
You have to wear the helmet. 45.
So you have to make these kinds of advertisements that are simple without using text and even then giving a loud message. There's another
अरे ये
one.
किसी ने बनाई थी या आपने नेट से निकाली?
नहीं ये वाली तो नेट से निकालने वाली ही है. मैं दूसरी वाली आपको ढूंढ के बताऊंगा. वो भी कहीं रुकती होंगी. ये अगर आपको गौर से नजर आए, these are music notes.
Yes sir, it's an earbud.
Right. So this is about Sony Walkman. You hear it so much, the music remains in your ears. Or this one. There is no
There is
here.
Who made the relax? What is the relax idea? I didn't know.
The side where the head and shoulders.
वो जो white spots होते
dandruff.
हैं वो remove कर देता है सारे.
Dandruff. There is no dandruff because of head and shoulders. So you get the idea, right? So
Yes,
let's move on. How much time do we have? We have another 15 minutes or so at least. So what I wanted to talk about next was, after this, the assignment now as well, was that how we interpret these things. You have to make 3 advertisements. Press ad just like this one. You can use any images from the internet, but you have to make this yourself. You cannot copy any advertisement that is already made. You can take the images, but you cannot copy the advertisement. Okay? Acha. So when we talk about interpretation, so we understand how we interpret text. Now we have to talk about how we interpret other things. For example, everything that we see around us has meaning. And the meanings are made up of many individual things. For example, colors. We have interpretation of colors. Now that interpretation is both collective and individual. Our collective interpretation of colors is by the universal meanings of these colors. So we have some meanings associated with these colors. Yes, we are going to discuss that. I'm going to share my screen again so that you can discuss that. I'll tell you how and why do we have these meanings, and then we can discuss how we can use them. So you can see these colors starting with red. You can see them, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So starting with red. Now red means danger. Red means love. Red means all of this. But the reason why red means this is because we can, in absolute terms, in universally, we know that blood is red. So because blood is red and blood comes to the heart, so heart also becomes associated with blood, and it also always perceive it as red. Whenever we make a heart, we make it red. So because we are talking about the heart, so red means love, and red means romance, red means passion, red means but red, because when blood is spilled, we see blood. We are also scared of it, so it also means danger, also means attention, and also in ancient times, in the tribal era of the humankind, actually what happened that the leaders, how were the leaders identified? How in the tribes, did they identify who was the leader of this tribe? So what they did is that they marked them on the forehead with the color, and usually that color was red. The person who with the red forehead was supposed to be known as the leader, or a person with a red feather on his head was known as the leader. So red also in our genetically we know in our DNA that we consider red as the leader. And we see that red is because it has the highest visibility. So it's a very good idea to have red as your name color in your brand, because it has highest visibility. We see that one good example is that when Allpulse came in and it had the red color, it grabbed the attention of the whole market on point of sale, because the red color attracts the attention. Even today, if you are using, if you are a customer of milk pack, or if you are a customer of Halib, even then when you go to the bakery or the milk shop or anywhere, supermarket, and you go in front of the shelf where the milk is present, then you will see Allpulse first before you even see milk pack. You will, it will grab your attention before you go and pick up your milk pack. So it has the highest visibility. You can see the brands that are red in color, and the brands that are red in color are usually the leaders in their category. Usually the leaders. For example, take TCS is the leader in its category. For example, take any other brand in Pakistan. You will see that they are KNN is red. National is usually red. So you see that most of these brands are red in color. Also because red is spice, so it goes with food brands a lot. So we have this red. We understood that red works in this way. Then we have orange. Orange is let's move on to the prime. Let's move with the primary one first. Then we can move to orange. So blue is the number that is represented by in nature. It is represented by the sky and water. Even though water is actually transparent, but we still see it as blue. So we see water is blue, and therefore any water brand that you see is blue because typically water is cold, and therefore if we want to show anything that is cold, even if we have a temperature gradient that we have to show that this is hot, so we say this is red, and but then we have to show it is cold, then we show blue. So whenever we have to show cold, then it means that we use the color blue. And when we have to show anything that's cold, if it's a drink, brand, beverage, cold beverage, we can use the blue color. Especially if it's just water, so we can use blue. Also, blue, if you've seen lightning, electricity, you will see that mostly it is blue in color. If you see a spark when you are putting something, you will probably see yellow or you will see blue. So that lightning is blue. Therefore, this we see that technology brands are usually blue in color. We can see it here as well. Twitter and Facebook and Visa and IBM and most of the technology brands, they are usually blue in color. And interesting, there is an interesting thing that I always ask my students, and I've been asking this for the last 10 years. And without fail, I've asked this question and there has been no answer. So the question from you guys as well is this: can you name anything in the world? Please listen to this carefully before answering the question. I do not want an answer which I have to repeat the question again. Is there anything in the world that exists naturally? We do not make it, it's naturally there, not human made. It's naturally there, existing in our there, and we eat it. And it's blue. A blue thing that exists naturally and we eat it. And don't say blueberry. Before you say blueberry, don't say blueberry because it's purple in color. Anything that is blue in color and you see and we eat it, and it occurs naturally. Can you name any? Challenge. There is no hint because actually there is nothing in the world. Interestingly, nothing in the world that is blue occurs naturally and we eat it. We don't. Why? Think about it. This is a very, when I first looked at it, it felt like a crazy thing because it's such a common color and there is nothing in the world that occurs naturally and is blue and we eat it. There's nothing. Why? Because it's a way of nature to tell us something. You know, most of the poisons in the world are blue in color. So it's a kind of a way of nature that if you see anything blue, it's hardwired in our brain to not eat anything that is blue in color. So that's why there is nothing naturally that occurs blue in color than the color blue. And therefore, it's very important as marketers to not use a blue color in food brands. Because whenever we will see the blue color, our mind subconsciously will actually resist eating that thing. Yeah, Oreo, it's also blue. I know, blue band has a blue band on it. And all of these things, we should try to avoid the blue color as much as possible. So, this blue color is an our mind that we should not use. It still works on the packaging because Oreo is not blue inside. It's just the packaging that is blue. But if you actually inject a blue color in the Oreo biscuit itself, people will have a hard time just being able to eat it. So blue you should never use with food brands, and definitely if it's in packaging it's okay, but definitely not with the product itself. Try to avoid the blue color. And then we have yellow. Yellow means yellow comes, you see the sun is yellow, and because the sun is yellow, we also associate the yellow color with morning. And when we are talking about anything that's related to morning, then we can use the color yellow. For example, we can use the color yellow for breakfast products. We can use yellow for anything that is taller. Yeah, right. Egg is also yellow. So we can use these colors for any of those brands that are related to the sun or related to morning or eggs. So try to look at it from the nature's perspective. Yeah, lemon. If it is something related to lemon, definitely you will have to use the color yellow. And then we have orange. Now orange usually means fun. So if you are going with something fun, you see Fanta and Nickelodeon and these, and they are usually the fun brand. So orange is usually fun, or the orange flavor. Yeah, naturally orange, so you do that. You can do that. Then we have green. Now green is definitely one of the easiest ones because green is nature. The trees and grass is green, and therefore nature is green. Whenever you have to show something to be natural, you use the green color. Also, green chili. So, yeah, money is also green. That's true. And the dollar bill is green. But we don't usually, we have the, not universal. So, green is there, and we can use green for nature, and also green chili. So the combination of red and green is very popular with food brands, and therefore we can use green for these things. Then we have black and white. Now black is a good color because it means power, it means prestige, it means dominance, yes, and all of these are associated with black. So prestige is black. You see, you always, if I ask you to imagine a Mercedes, you will always imagine a black Mercedes. You will not imagine blue or an orange or a red Mercedes. These are Bob, you will have to mute your phone again. So black is that, but black is also dark, and because it's dark, it means mystery, and it also can mean evil. So we have to avoid a situation in which black may mean evil. So we have to avoid that. Other than that, we can still use black. Now white means purity. Yeah, that is also black. So white means purity. White means safety. White means cleanliness. We always imagine angels to be in white color. So purity and divine and clean. So always use white when we have to show. White doesn't mean that universally, only in some places. Universally, white means divine and pure and clean. So whenever we are using that for health services, we usually find white as a very common color to choose. The hospitals are always, their walls are always white. So we understand white backwards in that way. Is there any color left? We have gray. Gray means that because gray hair comes with age, therefore gray usually means age. If you want to go an old brand, a brand with a 200 years legacy, we can use the color gray. So we have these meanings of these colors. So you get the idea that you can use colors in this way to do that. I guess you've understood this, and this lecture would have been good for you. Yeah, we have many other brown, and we can discuss, of course, everyone. But whenever we are talking about sand or the earth, then we can use brown color. So we have pink. Yeah, this thing. Pink is very important because pink is associated with feminine. So feminine brands use pink color a lot. That's pretty straightforward. You know it already. So you understand. You can use now you know about colors. So you in the assignment you can also use these colors to actually communicate what you're trying to say, right? So we've understood this, and next time we'll be talking about interpretation with animals and numbers and symbols and other things. If this is a long topic, we're going to discuss it in the next topic, that session as well. Okay, so for now, let's call it a day, or let's call it a night, basically. And I'll see you guys next Tuesday at the same time, 6:15ish. And till then, take care of yourself.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah. Is that?
Can you tell me what is the color for the COVID-19 if you want to do?
Sorry, I didn't get your question.
So I want to ask that what is the color you want to assign for coronavirus?
Oh, really? I would say something related to green or purple, or a mix of green or purple would be good, because green usually is used with both with sickness and with not feeling well, and purple is not also not feeling well.
According to my opinion, it's related to coughing and flu. So you can relate it to green.
Purple and green, I would still say. Purple and green.
Yes, sir, I can see. I think if someone innovates a vaccine of this sickness, then we will. What would be the brand color or vaccine color?
Actually, the vaccine color should be opposite of sickness, right? It should be health. So I don't think you should use it as a vaccine. If you have to describe the disease, then you can use the green color. But if you have to make the vaccine, I think it should be related to health, and that could be white or a mix of golden or white, or maybe yellow or white. I think a white with a background of yellow would be a good idea. Or maybe golden. Because golden is also color that represents divinity or health. So So yellow and white would be my color. Okay, so that's it. So I'll send you. Be sure to do this assignment as soon as I put it up. There will be a quiz for sure this week. We will have at least 4 quizzes so that you can, even if you attend 2, that you can still have the go for the exam. So we will have at least 4 quizzes. Be sure to keep looking at, keep checking the Google Classroom. Till then, Allah Hafiz. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz, sir.